Hello everybody, Steve here from dudehack.com. Today we're going to be running through a total of 9 mistakes that every guy makes in their Tinder bio. So as I mentioned, today we are going to be running through a total of 9 different things that guys do in their Tinder bio all the time, which is basically like shooting themselves in the foot. But first, you're probably wondering if you should even have a bio in the first place. I'm going to tell you right now that yes, absolutely, you should. There has been some recent studies done that have compared some people with a bio versus without. And even when you're putting in a really basic, easygoing bio, the people with a bio tended to get 3 times the amount of matches with someone who didn't have one. Now, I do believe that there are a number of reasons for that. The obvious one is it just looks like you're not putting in that much effort or time, and really there's not that much to work with for your match. If you've got a lot of different aspects on your profile showing who you are, it means that a sort of icebreaker or at least a conversation that gets up off the ground can happen a little bit sooner. So before we get into this, guys, you need a bio. Now, before we do jump into those 9 different things that people do that you should avoid at all costs, just a bit of housekeeping. My name is Steve. I'm the owner of dudehack.com. And if at this point you're not sure if Tinder is going to be the right dating app for you, I suggest that you do head over to dudehack.com and take our free quiz, which will tell you exactly what dating app would suit you better than Tinder. I've actually put a link to that down in the description below, so you can take that after this video. On top of that, if you're just getting started with Tinder or you've been using Tinder for a while, I suggest you go and check out my free ebook, Tinder Hacked, which will tell you pretty much everything you need to know, including a lot of these tips we're about to run through on what you should and shouldn't do to basically not suck at Tinder. So go and get that for free in the description as well. But today we are going to run through 9 different things that guys do all the damn time, which is completely hurting their chances to make a connection on Tinder. Number 1, bragging. Now, I think it's great if you've got big aspirations and big dreams and you are going after them, but Tinder is not the place to list all the things that you have achieved before, because it's going to come across as bragging. Having achievements is awesome, but it does not define who you are whatsoever. Plus, if your match does find out some of those achievements organically, that's even better. Rather than boasting that you're an awesome football player or the promotions that you've gotten in the last few years or your successful business, just put in things that relate to you and who you are. And when that stuff comes out just organically in conversation, your match will hopefully be even more impressed. But I just see it all the damn time. People think that selling themselves is listing everything that they've achieved. Tinder is not the place to brag. Number 2, be a sleazebag. Now, I'm by no means a prude. I do understand that Tinder is a place for a lot of people to get hookups or just something a little bit more casual. But if that's you, there are people on there looking for something serious. Keep that in mind as well. But what I suggest completely against is somebody putting anything sexual or sleazy in your bio whatsoever. Even if you are somebody that is using Tinder for a hookup or something a bit casual, yes, be upfront and tell people, but don't go and post sexual innuendos or whatnot in your bio. The reason being is that scares people off. Now, even if you're slightly joking, sometimes people can't really pick that up when they are reading your bio. I had one guy that I was doing some work with a little while ago, and for his job, he did something where he worked with piping. I'm not exactly what he was. He wasn't a plumber, he did something else. Anyway, in his bio, he had listed there, I just want to lay some pipe, which, you know, is kind of funny, I guess, if you knew that's what he did for a living, but a lot of people just took that the wrong way. They would have seen a skim of that really, really quick in a microsecond, and a lot of people would have swiped left because of it. Now, when we did make that change and take out that sexual innuendo from his bio, he got a lot more engagement. So get anything sexual or sleazy out of your bio right now. And remember, not everybody on Tinder is looking for something casual, so definitely do not assume that. Number 3, using the wrong spelling or grammar. Guys, I don't need to really explain this that much, do I? At the end of the day, having bad spelling or bad grammar as your first impression just is not a good way to get started. just read over your bio at least a couple of times and make sure that there are no spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes. Look, if you're somebody that does have a little bit of trouble with writing and spelling and things like that, get a friend to have a look over it and make sure that there aren't any little things that are just standing in your way by just chucking a comma in there. So for whatever reason, I was an idiot and I completely left out number 4 the other day. So this is a couple of days later. So without any further ado, number 4, being demanding. Now, I seriously have no idea where this trend came from, because I mean, just having your first impression of someone being a list of demands and saying what you don't want or you do want in a partner, it just comes off as very Karen-y. Seriously, I'm certain that anybody listing that sort of stuff in their bio is either a current or a future Karen. And if you're unsure what I mean, this is when somebody lists something in their bio like, I don't want somebody who is like this. If you're like this, forget about it. If you're a smoker, no. If you've done this, like at the end of the day, if you've got some preferences, if you want to put 1 or 2 things that are a complete deal breaker to you, that's fine. But what drives me crazy is when I come across these profiles and all your bio is a list of demands. Be open-minded, get over yourself, because one of those people that might not tick off every single one of your criteria of what your perfect partner should be, you might be just excluding somebody that actually could be your cup of tea. Basically what I mean by this is you might not end up with the person who ticks off 100% of your criteria, hopefully a lot of it, but at the end of the day, you don't know who is going to be perfect for you. A lot of people's long-term partner does not match exactly what they set out to look for. Sometimes there might be a couple of points that they don't meet, which is fine. At the end of the day, the person that you do fall in love with, look, they might not share the same beliefs on absolutely everything or the same habits and things like that. So what I'm getting at, I'll stop blabbering on, be open-minded and don't put a list of demands in your bio. Number 5, being unoriginal. Now, that's pretty rich coming from a guy who does even have a free list of 50 bios that you can go and download for free right now. I'll put that down in the description as well. It's pretty funny coming from a guy that does that. Now, what I mean by something that is unoriginal is just don't copy what everyone else is doing. Look, if you want to go to the internet or get my list of 50 bios for some inspiration while you maybe come up with your own bio, that's another thing. But the last thing I would want to see you do is to go and take one of these bios that basically every 5th guy or girl that people come across on Tinder will have. One of the ones I do see quite a lot is when people have given themselves sort of star ratings or reviews from other people, or they've put in their Uber ride score or whatever that number is. Basically, there are so many out there that have just been regurgitated over and over and over, and this will fall in the category almost the same as not having a bio. You don't want your match to roll their eyes when they've seen that bio for the 10th time in a row, so try your best to be original. Yes, you can go to the internet. Yes, you can go to my list and take some of those bios, but your best bet is always going to be coming up with something yourself. Number 6, going overboard. What I mean by that is not writing a massive damn essay and telling every single tiny detail about your life in that bio. Yes, you do only have 500 characters to work with, but it amazes me sometimes the length of the bios I do see from people. People don't want to read about your life story. They want some things that sort of grab their attention and tell them a little bit about yourself. So if you are just having a little bit of a look back at your profile and you think your bio is a little bit too long, chances are it is. Cut it down. Number 7, kind of the opposite to what I just said. Not trying hard enough. Again, this really does fall in the same category as not having a bio. And this will be something like when people write, I don't know what to write here, or I suck at writing these, or anything like that. It's completely unoriginal and it just shows that you're lazy. Put in some effort, and if you are completely stumped on what to put there, just copy one of mine. People won't be jumping to meet you if you're not putting in that effort. Put in some effort and show that when they do actually start talking to you, that things will be more interesting than you just saying you suck at writing bios. Number 8, being a social media legend. Now, I recently just finished a video which basically divulges over the reasons that I personally do not like at all the people that do just use Tinder or other dating apps to grow their Instagram followers. And a lot of people do carry that same sentiment. So for that reason alone, I would probably get rid of my Instagram handle or any other social media handles from my bio. But on top of that, Tinder and Bumble and other dating apps do seem to be cracking down on people that do have their social media listed in their bio. This is because it is a common practice known from Tinder and Bumble that people do use the apps to grow their following. And lastly, it just seems a little bit desperate. It just seems like all you care about is growing that little number on the screen of followers, which is just kind of silly in my opinion, and I believe in a lot of people's opinions. So for that reason, guys, just get rid of your Snapchat, your Instagram, or whatever other handle you've got in there. Pretty straightforward. And last but not least, number 9, being cynical. It's something I see all the time for some reason. And I feel like it comes from a place of people being maybe a little bit embarrassed that they are on Tinder. But what I mean by being cynical is people having bios like, my friend downloaded Tinder for me, or I can't wait to get off Tinder, or why the hell am I using this app? Or, you know, just something like that that points to the fact that you using this app is this amazing big thing. Like at the end of the day, the people that are going to see your profile as well, they've made that decision to jump on Tinder. So it's kind of even insulting in a roundabout way, their decision to jump on. You're not some, special person who shouldn't be on Tinder. Jump on there, be open to what you're going to experience and the people that you're going to meet. Don't be cynical right off the bat. It's just unattractive. Now that basically wraps up those 9 different things that people should avoid doing in their Tinder bio at all costs. Now I know that I haven't given you too many concrete examples of what you should do instead. So on that note, make sure you do grab my 50 free bios down below to get some inspiration, or even just copy and paste, or even feel free to check out my Tinder Hacked ebook. It is a pretty long ebook which will tell you everything you would ever need to know about Tinder. So if that interests you, go and get that for free as well. And lastly, if you're still not sure if Tinder is going to be the right dating app for you, I do suggest you go and take the free quiz, which will tell you exactly what dating app would suit you better. I've also put a link right at the top of that description below. But until next time, guys, I will probably be bringing you some more tips on what you should do instead. If you do like this type of content and just sort of quick fire tips here and there, I would really appreciate if you did give me a thumbs up and even subscribe. It would make my day. But until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you later.